Great. So it's quite exciting to start off this very interesting event. And we'll really start off with the report launch. Along with FYND, along with images, we have been looking at some of the most important trends in the retail e-commerce sector. And one of the areas that we are looking at is the overall Phygital space. And we would like to just quickly present some of the key insights that we have got and a very interesting omni-channel maturity index that we have launched and take you through our findings. The report itself will get launched after the presentation and will be available to the delegates. So at a broader level in terms of the e-commerce trends, we are clearly seeing while there were a lot of D2C brands which came up through the COVID period, all of them are now starting to look at also getting into the physical space, offline space, and to be able to become available to consumers in different formats. And all the offline players, traditional players have naturally tried to get into the online space. So today we have all the players sort of having a combination of offline as well as the online play. And it becomes important for them to be able to seamlessly integrate their operations across the two. And that's where the importance of Phygital and to be able to integrate both your operations becomes very important. Similarly, there are certain very critical growth trends which are happening. We clearly see a move towards luxury, which is happening. The overall incomes are growing quite rapidly. Many of the global luxury brands are coming and growing in India. Similarly, Tier 2, Tier 3 is growing much faster over the last few years. And Q-commerce is a very interesting area. Again, it started with grocery, but now they're rapidly expanding into other areas as well. So given some of this as a background, we also see very unique consumer behaviors across each of the categories in retail. When we look at apparel, there are very short-lived trends, and it's important to ramp up some of the fast-moving SKUs. The frequency of purchase is very high, and that's where also assistance in providing decision-making both in physical and online format. Jewelry, high-value purchases, and while the direct online purchasing may still be low, it's something that is the starting point for bringing people into the offline side. Beauty, personal care, very important for people to actually try out various different brands and products. So the combination of the physical, online and the physical becomes very critical. Home furnishing is something that is still low on penetration, and because of, and some of the virtualization can help a lot because people really want to understand size, usage, and how they get located in your home. So all of these trends, given these trends, the way technology and online needs to play differs very significantly, and that needs to be managed by each individual category. And we see a lot of companies trying to evolve, but as we do that, it's difficult for companies on a standalone basis to really understand, are they following some of the best practices? Have they evolved to the level that they can become champions in each of the areas that we are looking at? So it was important to allow companies to assess their performance, assess their journey against a standard benchmark. And that's where we have gone about creating an overall omni-channel maturity index about how you can integrate both your online and offline operations and the experiences that the customer is getting. To be able to do that, we have developed the index, and that index is a combination of 4 critical parameters. First is, how is the overall omni-channel strategy working? How are you looking in terms of the mix of channels that you're looking at, mix of own website, mix of marketplaces, mix of your own offline channels. Second part is in terms of process robustness. As you do this, how are you making some of the critical changes which are required so that you can meet the demands, not just of the offline or the online side, but both the integrated channel together. To be able to do this, the third parameter is the technology that you need to put in. So you are now not just having separate technologies, which is what a lot of companies started with, but to be able to integrate, whether it's the back-end inventory that you're looking for, whether it's the loyalty programs that you're looking for, whether it's the exchange returns that you're looking for, how are you able to integrate that in a seamless manner? And the last parameter is eventually the most important part about customer engagement. How can you provide the same face to the customer, whether it's the online or the offline space, and do a handover in a very seamless manner? So those are the 4 parameters that we have looked at from the overall omnichannel maturity index. And we have also done a survey around this with more than 500 brands across 200 different, more than 500 stores, 200 brands, and a very extensive online survey as well. And while we got inputs from companies through the survey, we also did an extensive mystery survey offline of the stores itself to see whether what the companies believe in terms of what they are doing is also actually experienced on the ground by the shoppers when they are going to the shops. And that is where we have also done the separate offline survey and also come up with a maturity index for that. But when we are doing that, we are looking only at the 3 parameters because the strategy is something that's happening at an overall company level. So with that as a background, I think we have got some very insightful results coming out of it. And I leave that to Kushal to talk about some of those results. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Girish. So just building upon that, right? And the idea was, of course, as Girish mentioned, omnichannels we've very talked about word, term, and every retailer, be it D2C or offline, is really talking about it. And when we started discussing this with our partners, FYND, they really also wanted to, we aligned on the fact that are we doing enough, and is the entire retail ecosystem actually being able to deliver the omnichannel Phygital experience to the customer that they are claiming to be or that they're planning to be. And that's where the need of this entire index really came out. Now, driving straight into what we actually got out. So this is, the first part is the CXO survey that Girish mentioned. As part of the CXO survey, what we really saw that there was a significantly higher score for the process robustness and customer experience and engagement that the CXOs believe that they are planning for and delivering to their customers. There was a lower score in omnichannel strategy, which was, okay, they're not holistically thinking about it. They're still figuring out whether, online, you want to use it as a liquidation channel, you want to use it to acquire customers, you want to create unique experiences. So they're not very clear about it, but they're still sort of moving ahead with their omnichannel strategy agenda. The process, the thing that really surprised us most was actually the tech adoption. And even if you go outside, there's a significant amount of tech people who are already there, and a lot of, and wherever we speak to our clients, tech has always been the most priority thing that they pick up and say that, I want to apply and throw tech at that problem. Despite of that, the moment we look at standard table stakes tech like CRM, OMS, WMS, etc., a lot of people are having a large tech stack to sort of go ahead and enable omnichannel journey. But the moment we start going to more, I would say, outcome-oriented things in terms of looking at, are you using demand sensing tools? Are you using MarTech tools, marketing communication, et cetera, all of that was largely where I think so the gap started coming in. And again, the process robustness has significantly improved actually. And we saw that both online and offline today is much more unified in many ways. And actually people are more clearer that is in order to drive omnichannel fulfillment, omnichannel supply chain, along with this stores in place, the entire process setup is already there. However, once we actually went to the stores, and this is the part where it gets really interesting, and this is a like-to-like comparison. So in the sample set, we actually picked up CXOs of the brands who responded to the survey and the mystery audit findings that we got for those brands. We realized that the scores significantly dropped down across all of the parameters. So while, yes, the management in CXO is either planning or put in the effort to buy tech, build in processes, is it really percolating to the last mile at the store level where your customer is coming? There is a huge gap in that. And just to give you a sense of it, for example, omni-channel features, right? CXO, 50 to 70% CXOs actually talked about enabling ship from stores, enabling return across stores. And when we actually tried to sort of figure it out at the store, either the coverage of those stores were very low, or it was not present at all. So it was a rarity. Similarly, even across places where CXOs actually rated themselves very highly on customer experience, loyalty, for example, they said that 50% of them had a loyalty program in place, out of which a lot of people were essentially trying to build out loyalty, which is integrated as an experience online and offline. This was rarely in place. Overall, this entire sort of actual expectation to reality mismatch was something which was quite glaring across all the brands that we spoke to and we collected data from. So overall, finally, what do brands really need to do? And I understand the time's up, but just last minute on this. So brands need to move from being a beginner where they're essentially being started off both online and offline interaction with their customers. They have cataloged their inventory, they have democratized their inventory across all the channels and started to sort of see that upfront going on. However, the movement towards a emerging or a fast follower maturity level is only when brands are able to start picking up small but unique experiences and enabling that optionality to customers, be it on the omni-channel side or leveraging tech in a much more meaningful manner on the storefront to drive those outcomes for customers. That is currently missing, despite of what CXOs have already planned and invested in. And finally, to be able to move to the champion phase, which is the global best benchmarks that we look at, that is where brands really need to be able to enable the customers to be able to choose and customize their own journeys, which how they interact with the brand themselves. And that requires all of the tech and the data that you're bringing in, being able to churn it, figure out the kind of profiles, the kind of customers you're coming in, and enable that with both the tech and process to seamlessly flow in to deliver BOPIS, ROPIS, and other unique journeys that will enable customers to choose for themselves. Of course, this entire maturity curve is different across categories. We saw jewelry to be doing much better than electronics. We saw apparel and beauty personal care doing slightly lagging behind, and interestingly, home decor doing better. So there is a journey to be sort of taken in by the brands, and I'll be happy to sort of have more conversation and discussions with all of you. But that is the start on, honestly, start of our journey for building out this maturity curve for the retail brand, and let's continue to evolve this and track how the industry goes. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Kushal. Kushal, can I ask you to stay here? Where's Girish? Can you come and join me back on the stage again? Gentlemen, can I just ask you to stand over there for 1 second? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to launch the India Phygital Retail Report here on stage. On your tables, by the way, there is a little tent card. You can scan this and you'll be able to see the report for yourself. So if you want to check in and have a look at what the guys are doing, look at this, scan the QR code, and you'll get the report. To announce more about what's going to be happening in the report, please welcome to the stage Dinesh Arora, the deal leader at PwC India, and Ravi Kapoor, the partner retail and consumer sector of PwC India and FYND Images Group. Welcome to the stage. Gentlemen, it's over to you.
I don't know what we're going to do.
There's a digital version of the report that we are holding right now. But please feel free to scan the report and download. Oh yeah, we're getting.
So we open it.